Welcome to students of class 7. Today we'll continue with the Uncle Podger lesson from page number 57. So we start from the could you have left into the garden? That Uncle Podger thinks that her aunt is suggesting that you must have left it in the garden. So he argues, what should I want to leave in the garden for? I don't want a paper in the garden. I want the paper in a train with me. So I'm not putting in the garden. So he gives a very comic reply to that. You haven't put it in your pocket. Do you think I should standing here for 5 minutes to 9 looking for it, and if I had it in my pocket all the while? If it's in the pocket, I've been waiting for that or what? Yeah, somebody would explain, what's this? And hand him the paper from somewhere, clearly folded. I do wish people should leave my things alone, he complains. मेरी चीज़ें ना जो मेरी जगह पे रहे वही अच्छा रहे. He would growl, snatching it in savagely, खींच के ना गुस्से से बोलते हैं. He would open his bag to put it in, and then glancing at it, and would pause speechless with sense of injury. Sense of injury is feeling I'm injured, because the time for going to the my work is there, and this things I have to search at the end. That's very disturbing for him, and he gets irritated because he has to catch a train and go to the station. What's the matter? My aunt would ask. The day before yesterday, I would answer, too hurt even to shout, throwing the paper down upon the table. If only something had been yesterday, it would have been a change, but it was always the day before yesterday's. We would think of it for him eventually as often it was sitting on it, and he would smile not genially. So many times he was sitting on the paper, but the weariness and comes to the man who feels the fate his caste puts lot upon the band of hopeless fools. All the time, right in front of your noses. Right in front of your noses means very near to you, within your reach, within your knowledge. He would not finish the sentence. He prided himself on his self-control. So he used to control himself, and he used to misplace things, and this way the story goes on that Uncle Podger is a problematic person. This sad-held he would want for the hall. There was the custom in my Aunt Maria to have the children gathered ready to say goodbye to him. So here Aunt Mary, so many children were there in his house. So all these had to come for him to say goodbye when he went to the office. One of them, of course, was sure to be missing. All these children would come, and one is missing. He noticed all the other 6 without an instant hesitation would scatter him with a whoop to find it. ढूंढता है वो छोटा लड़का बच्चा कहाँ गया. Immediately after they were gone, he would turn up by itself from somewhere quite near always. So here we can see with the most reasonable explanation for his absence, तो वो बहाना बना के बोलता है कि मैं यहाँ गया था ना वहाँ ना, वो ढूंढते रहते हैं, and would at once run after after the others to explain that it was found. Thus, the 5 minutes at least would pass in everybody looking for everybody else, which was enough time to allow my uncle to find his umbrella and lose his hat. So when these children are complaining and telling about the things, what is going on, then uncle finds his umbrella and loses the hat. So he something he loses and something he gets, and in this process, but he's a forgetful fellow, and that is the reason why he gets late to the station. Then at last as the group assembles in the hall, reassembles in the hall, drawing room clock out commenced to strike 9. It possessed a cold penetrating chime that always had the effect of confusing my uncle. So at that time, cold penetrating, chupti hui, chime means the sound that is shrill sound that is made. Effect on confusing my uncle. His excitement would kiss some of the children twice over and pass by others, forget whom he had kissed and whom he hadn't, and have to begin all over again. So he wasted time while going to the office and his work, and that way he gives a very comic, the writer gives a very comic situation in which Uncle Podger loses his time rather than go running to the station to catch a train. He gets muddled up with his children and losing something or the other. He would have to believe that mixed themselves up on purpose. On purpose means purposely means जानबूझकर वो ना ऐसे करते थे to add to his troubles. One child always had a sticky face, and that child would always be the most affectionate. So that was also something very comedy. And the last part of this lesson, we'll see that how Uncle Podger gives his the last narration of Uncle Podger's experience. We will see now. So in this particular paragraph, we can see that in things, if things were going too smoothly, the eldest boy would come here. You see, would come with a tale about all the clocks in the house being 5 minutes slow and of his having been late for school for previous day in consequence. एक बच्चा आके बोलता है कि ना सारी घड़ी अपने घर में 5 मिनट पीछे है, इसलिए मैं इसकी वजह से मैं ना स्कूल लेट पहुंचा था. This adds to the problem for catching the train from Uncle Podger. This would send my uncle rushing impetuously is very fastly and out of desperation to the gate, where he would recollect the that he had with him neither his bag nor the umbrella. So Bobby's bhul jata jaldi mein. All the children that my aunt could not stop, would charge after, पीछे भागते हैं सब देने के लिए. 2 of them struggling for the umbrella, the others surging. इतने बच्चे थे तो मैं ले जाऊंगा ना Uncle Podger को देने, और सब पीछे भागते हैं round the bag. And when they returned, they would discover on the hall table the most important thing he had forgotten, and he wondered what he would say when he came home. So losing one thing in the other. Jaram writes this very nicely, and makes a unique, a very humoric narration in this particular lesson. Jaram, he was an English author, best known for his humorous book, The Three Men in a Boat. The book became instant hit and has remained in print since. He wrote several other novels, plays and essays after this, but none of these proved to be as popular as the first work, that was The Three Men in a Boat. So here we can see many things about the writer also, Jaram, and the way he has concluded this particular Uncle Podger's lesson. It is very exciting and gives us a lot of humor, that to laugh for when Uncle Podger loses things and gets late to the railway station to get his train for work. So with this we complete the lesson, and in the next session we will start with the question answers.